Hello, welcome to our seated exercise session based on the themes and characters of Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice. This is the first session of several that we'll use to examine the novel, and we'll be developing some of those exercises. Sometimes we'll be repeating them so that you can really get to know them. But you can do each session as a standalone session as well, that's fine. All these sessions feature exercises that can be done sitting down, and they'll also have vocal exercises led by me. And Rosa and Louisa will show you standing exercises as well towards the end of the sessions, and each one will also show a seated alternative, so you don't have to get up to do the exercises at all if you don't want to. So if you're ready, I'll be playing the piano in my home, and Rosa and Louisa are going to lead you through the exercises from their homes, and we hope you have a great time.
Okay, hello everybody. So we are going to get our body warmed up before we get straight into the thick of it with Pride and Prejudice. But to begin with, we're just going to take some gentle movement to get our body ready. So moving through the spine and a little bit of marching through our feet. I'm just going to turn to the side here so that you can see that movement through my spine a little better. But before we do get warmed up, just making sure you've got that space between the back of the chair and your back. So just coming forward slightly if you need to find that space. And let's have a check that our feet are in parallel position, they're hip width apart. And we've got that nice 90-degree angle in our legs. So making sure our feet haven't travelled too far under. We've got that nice stable position, feeling lovely and tall through your spine. And Nia's going to play some gorgeous music for us as we get warmed up. So we're going to start with a big inhale all together. And exhale. And again. And exhale. And one more time. Our shoulders up to our ears and press down our back. Again, lifting. Pressing down and down. And again, lifting up. Pressing down. Hands finding your shoulders, drawing circles in the space with your elbows. And as our elbows comes forward, our tummy button presses to the back of the chair. As our elbows go back, we stretch through our chest. Really enjoying this movement through your spine. Let's extend those arms down and lift. Palms touch, bringing that line down your body. Finding your thighs with your hands rolling over and lengthening through your spine, leading with your head, coming back, rolling through your spine. Palms touch, trace that pathway back, reach and press, full twist and back. Follow that twist with your focus and back. Lay those arms down. Let's do that all again and reach and draw them down. Find your thighs rolling over, pressing through, making that lovely long spine. And coming back. Tracing that pathway, reaching and pressing. Twisting one way and the other way. And floating your arms down. We're marching for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tap. 5, 6, 7. Tap. 5, 6, 7. Tap. Coming over our thighs again. Looking between your feet. And we'll extend one arm up towards the ceiling. And coming back. Switching sides. And back. Feeling that lovely twist in your spine. Last time, reaching, coming back, rolling up through your spine, stacking your head on top, and And let's scrunch everything together. So really scrunching through your toes, your fingers, your face into a little ball. And very, very slowly start expanding out as though you're moving through something. Feeling that resistance. And reaching, reaching, reaching. And coming back to parallel to finish.
So for this exercise, we're going to be Mrs. Bennet, and you can imagine her in the sitting room with all the 5 girls, and Mr. Bennet's there as well. And they've just heard the news of Mr. Bingley, their new neighbour. So Mrs. Bennet has just fallen asleep here in her cosy armchair. And we're going to start by taking a big yawn. Oh, she's waking up. And just like dusting her dress a bit. And then she remembers the great news and goes like, oh, she can't quite believe what's happened. And then she's been dreaming of all these lovely men. So she's sort of still half dreaming. So she goes from her heart thinking about, oh, that gorgeous guy there. He could kiss my hand. And then we're gonna go, oof, and that guy there, he's quite handsome as well. And then we'll go into a little dance. So she's picturing all her girls and herself dancing with all these handsome men around. So we're gonna come in from a first position, lengthening into a big arabesque arm, reaching up. And then we're going to take a little softening into the top arm and like a gentle bow forward. And we're going to take the hands to the side, like we would take our skirt. And then we're just going to take the skirt, little sway, side to side. We'll take 4 of those. Okay, so we'll start with a big yawn. We'll dust. And then we remember the great news. And then we'll dreaming of that man there, kissing our hand, and that other hot guy there, blowing a kiss. And then we'll come into first, reaching arabesque, taking a bow, we'll collect our skirt, and we'll come into like a little sway here from side to side. There's a little but here, because Mr. Bennet is not so keen on all this girly stuff. So Mrs. Bennet's gonna say, oh, Mr. Bennet, you must write to Mr. Bingley. And he's still not really that interested. So Mrs. Bennet goes, oh, please. And then he obviously first says no. And she goes like, oh, you're such a spoiler. So we'll go, oh, Mr. Bennet, you must write to Mr. Bingley. And then we go, please. And then go, oh. And then Mrs. Bennet is gonna think about all her 5 girls, and she's gonna go, Jane there, she's so pretty. And Lizzie, she's okay, she's quite smart. So we'll go, Jane is pretty, Lizzie is smart, and then we go, Mary is a nerdy. And then these 2, that's Kitty and Lydia, they're quite okay, gorgeous. So we'll go, Jane is pretty, Lizzie is smart, Mary is nerdy, and these 2, gorgeous. They should all be allowed to go into the dance. So we'll do the dance mime, hands behind, and we'll take these dance steps. So we're gonna step, if you want you can step across or just forward, and we'll step and step and step. So we'll take 4 steps there. Then we're going to come back into that first position, lengthening into your arabesque. We'll take a bow here, collecting our skirts, and we'll go swing and swing and swing and swing. And then we'll repeat that. Jane is so pretty. Lizzie is quite smart. Mary is a nerdy. And these 2 are quite gorgeous and jolly. And I wish they could all go into the dance. And we'll take them the second time with the hands down here. And then Mrs. Bennett's going to show all my 5 girls. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should get married, or otherwise we're all doomed. So we finish with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All my 5 girls. They should all get married, or we're all doomed. Okay? That's quite a lot, but we're going to try that with the music. Some lovely music that Nia's played for us. Here we go. We'll start straight from the music. Yawn! And then we remember what's happened. That man there looks so gorgeous. You there? Reaching up, taking a bow, taking your skirt. Oh, Mr. Bennett, you must write, please. Oh, Jane, pretty, Lizzie, smart, Eddie, these 2, gorgeous. Step. And again, finding that ridge. Bow. And skirt. Jane, pretty, Lizzie, smart, Mary, Maddie, these 2. If only they could dance. My 5. They must marry, or we are all doomed. Oh, lovely. I think we should do that once more with the music without me saying anything. Okay, let's go. Starting with the music. So we're going to do some vocal and character work now based on the characters in Pride and Prejudice. And we're going to start with Mr. Darcy, the handsome Mr. Darcy. And he is, of course, our proud character, although he turns out to have a lot more to him than Elizabeth Bennet thinks. So what we're going to do is take a quote from the book, and we're going to use that quote to sum up
each character. And we're going to, first of all, take a stance that represents Mr. Darcy. So in your seat, I'd like to imagine you, because I can't see you unfortunately, but I'd like to imagine you taking a very proud Mr. Darcy stance and thinking about the fact that he's confident in his place in the world. So you're going to sit up straight. He's also, as we discover later, quite shy. So he might have a little tip of the head there so that he doesn't have to make eye contact. But I'd like you to make up your own stance. So whatever you think fits Mr. Darcy. And we're going to say a line from the book, which is a line he says about Elizabeth, which starts off all the trouble. And he says, "She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me." It's a devastating thing to hear. So we're going to say that. I'll say the first bit, you say it after me, and so on. And then we're going to reduce it to just one word to sum up the character. Okay, so after me. "She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me." I can hear you all perfectly, that's wonderful. So now we're going to reduce that to one word, and that one word is tolerable. And we're going to use every consonant and every syllable in this word to convey our proud Mr. Darcy. So 1, 2, 3, tolerable. And that's going to be our Mr. Darcy word, which we'll come back to in future sessions. So once again, with our stance, 1, 2, 3, tolerable. Okay, wonderful. Now we're going to move on to Elizabeth Bennet, who is this wonderful, sassy, quite modern character. She knows her own mind. And she's described by the imperious Lady Catherine de Bourgh as an obstinate, headstrong girl. So let's have a stance for Elizabeth, and I think I'm going to give her 2 fists on the hips to show how strong Elizabeth is as a character. But we're going to use that quote from Lady Catherine and use it with pride, because I don't think Elizabeth would mind being described this way. So she's an obstinate, headstrong girl. Let's hear you. An obstinate, headstrong girl. Excellent. And now we're going to reduce that to one word, and that one word is headstrong. And I want you to absolutely blast that out and kick that H out using your projection muscles here. Ready? And headstrong. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's move on to Lady Catherine de Bourgh, and she's quite a scary figure. And she really is quite awful, really. She's very proud and very snobbish and very pleased with herself. We're going to have to try and think of a different stance for Lady Catherine. I think I'm going to imagine her presenting herself to the company. And she says to Elizabeth at one point in the book, "I am most seriously displeased." So let's say that with your Lady Catherine stance. Ready? And I am most seriously displeased. And the one word I think we can't avoid using for Lady Catherine is displeased. So let's use that with all the force of snobbery and pride that she has. Ready? And displeased. Fantastic. Okay, so our last character for today is Mr. Collins. And Mr. Collins ingratiates himself with Lady Catherine. He's described in the book as being a mixture of pride and obsequiousness. A mixture of pride and obsequiousness, and self-importance and humility. Self-importance and humility. But I think that wonderful word, obsequious, sums him up. So let's have a really kind of ingratiating, obsequious stance to go with Mr. Collins. And let's make the most of the wonderful S's and Q's in that word and say obsequious. Fantastic. So let's just run through to finish our 4 characters for today with their character words. So we have Mr. Darcy, first of all, with his proud stance, saying tolerable and tolerable. And then we're going to have Elizabeth with her sassy stance, and she's going to be a headstrong girl. So we'll say headstrong. Then the ghastly Lady Catherine de Bourgh with her very snobbish and proud displeased. Displeased. And finally, the ingratiating Mr. Collins with his obsequious stance. So let's say obsequious. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
So for our next exercise, we're going to be thinking about the time that Pride and Prejudice was set and how women were expected to marry for money and for the security for their family. So we're going to have a bit of a play with that idea, and imagining that we're the sisters and we're at a party and there's lots of eligible bachelors around, and we're kind of deciding who we want to go and try and see whether they would court us, okay? So it's a bit of a cheeky exercise, just making sure you're sitting up nice and tall, and we'll begin with 3 taps with one heel. And as we do that, we're going to look to one side as though we're looking around at all of these men in our party. So we're going tap, 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 come back to centre. And then we're going to lift up our heels and our shoulders at the same time twice. So we're going up, down, as if to say, I don't know who to choose. And then we're going the other way with our taps with one heel, looking 1, 2, 3, back to centre, up, down, and you're going to look to one side of you and kind of come over, and you can lean on your hand here if you'd like, and then you're going to beckon somebody towards you. You like the look of him, and then you're going to look the other way and someone over here has caught your eye as you come up, sitting nice and tall through your spine, and then you're going to blow them a kiss. Okay? So from there, we're going to tap forwards with our toes. We've got 2 taps, forwards, in, and then we're going to say to our sisters, he's so rich. Okay, so with our hands, doing that kind of money symbol, we've got he's so rich. And then we're going to step forward with our heel in, and say, he's so strong. Bring your hands down, toes in, toe in. He's so handsome. And then we've got heel in. He's got it all. And then we're going to blow 4 kisses forwards, and these are quite fast. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we'll just give that part a go with the music today. We will add on next week. There's another 2 sections to learn, but we'll see how we go with this section first, and just straight up go and give it a go with some music. It is quite fast, so we'll do it twice through today, just so we really feel like it's in our body, ready to add on to this exercise next week. Sitting up nice and tall. We've got a bit of an introduction. And 1, 2, 3, up, down, other side. And up, down, looking over there. And beckon, and over there. And we blow a kiss. And toe. He's so rich, and heel. He's so strong, and toe. He's so handsome, heel. He's got it all, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is quite fast when we put it to the music. So we'll do that once more through, so you get a chance to really feel it in your body. And Nia will continue playing this time, and we'll just do a little bit of a free foot to get our feet warmed up before we come up to standing. Straight after we finish with our kisses, we'll go into something free. So just follow along after that, all right? So sitting up nice and tall, getting ready again. There's that short introduction, and then we're going to one side with our heels to begin with. And 1, 2, 3, lifting up, down, up, down, other side. And up, down, looking over there. And cool, him in, other side. Good, and toes, toes. So rich. Heel, heel. He's so strong, and toes, toes. He's so handsome, heels, heels. He's got it all, and 1, 2, 3, 4, marching. And a kick, kick, again, marching. And a kick. Let's do that again. Kick, kick. Last time. Kick, kick. Let's go. 1, 2. In again. 1, 2. A bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. Good. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. Press. Drop. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Press. Drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press. Drop. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press. Drop. And twisting those heels. Twist. And a bounce. Good. And step. Step. Coming in. Great. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing now. So just give your arms a little bit of a shake, give your body a little bit of a shake out from all that movement that we've done seated. You can give your legs a bit of a shake too. Let's just stretch up to the ceiling and press the air away. And stretching up to the ceiling and pressing down. And let's press our tummy to the back of the chair. And lifting through our chest. One more time, pressing that tummy button to the back of the chair. Lifting through our chest, stretching nice. And coming back to neutral spine. Okay, so if you'd like to come to standing today, you can do that now. Just making sure you're getting up nice and safely. So pressing your heels slightly back under you, and using your hands if you'd like to press through your thighs and come up to standing, and just have a little bit of a pedal out here.
Okay, so we're going to find our way to the back of the chair if you are doing the standing variation. So we'll be doing a seated variation as well that you can follow. So we're going to do a little plie and balance and swing exercise that's based on Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth being in this ball. They maybe just met each other once before, so they know about each other, but they don't really like each other that much yet. So it doesn't really quite go right here. So we start with standing nice and tall, feet parallel behind your chair, and I will show the seated variation as well, that there's going to be a video of that as well. So here we go. Mr. Darcy is going to bring his hand in and just take a noble bow here, greeting Elizabeth, and she's taking a little curtsy and just looking slightly away. And then she's happily dancing with other people, not Darcy. And we're going to go forward, being Elizabeth here, swinging the hand and then flex the wrist to push, like you put your hand together with your dance partner. We're going to take another plie, swing the hand back, and there we see Mr. Darcy looking at us. But we're not that impressed, so we go, oh, why does he have to be everywhere? We'll take that to the other side. So swinging the hand forward with a plie, flex, push with your dance partner. Hand, imaginary dance partner. We're going to swing the hand back. We'll see Darcy there again and we'll go, oh, he has to be everywhere. We're going to take a rise back in dancing happily here. And then we're going to sweep one arm to the side, just longingly, if only there would be someone we could love in this world. Reaching up as you rise again, lengthen. And then we reach the other arm to the side, longingly, and taking it back. Then, so we're going to be Mr. Darcy here, and we'll do a squat rather than a plie. So we're going to take our sit bones back and we're going to spot, look over the shoulder, try to spot Elizabeth here because he's sort of interested, coming back. But then we're going to take a tap to the side, thinking about, there she's dancing, but she's not quite like noble enough for me. We'll take that to the other side. So sticking your sit bones back, squat, look over one shoulder. We're going to try and secretly look for Elizabeth. And we'll take a tap. There she's dancing, not quite good enough for me. Coming back. Then Darcy is rising as well, coming down. And we're going to come into a heel balance. So lifting your toes. And as we do that, just looking over one shoulder, we're still trying to look for Elizabeth. We're watching her. Rising again, lowering down, lifting the toes, and then we'll look over the other shoulder, trying to spot Elizabeth. Good. We're going to come into a little swing, so extending one leg to the side, and if you like, you can let go of your chair or furniture there, swinging the arms. This general dancing, jolly dancing in the ball. We'll have 2 lots of 8 here, and then as we come to the second, we'll make it smaller and come back to the chair. Then we're going to take a balance, so think about like you brush your foot back and then toes on the floor. If you're okay, we'll lift up, but we're trying to keep that length here. Just a little balance, lowering the leg down. We're being Elizabeth first. No, we're being Darcy first. Sorry, we'll take a balance down, and then Darcy is saying, you have quite fine looks, but you're not quite up to my standards. So taking that balance down, and Darcy says, you have quite fine looks, but you're not quite up to my standard. And then Elizabeth, taking that balance to the other side, lifting the leg up, lowering down, she says, I could never marry someone like you. And that's our end. So we started with those swinging pliés, pushing the hand. We'll go back, and then there's Darcy. Take that to the other side, push with the wrist, swing back. We'll see Darcy. Then we did a rise, and that longing reach, another rise, and another longing reach. Turning into Darcy, we'll sneak over our shoulder, looking at Elizabeth, and we'll take those taps. There she's dancing, not quite good enough for me. The other side, and tap, and tap. And then we'll take a rise, and we'll lift the toes, and look over one shoulder, rise, down, look over the other shoulder, and then we'll hit the swings, and we'll do the balance. And then Darcy is first saying, I like your fine looks, but you're not quite good enough for me. And Elizabeth is coming into the balance and saying, I could never marry you. And the seated is very similar. So if you're doing that, just follow the seated variation. We're going to do that with some music. Taking a bow, Elizabeth curtsy. Here we go. Push with the wrist, swing back. There's Darcy. Oh. Again, the other side, and press the wrist. There's Darcy again. Rise. Reach longingly. And the other side, rising up. Reaching. Here we go, Darcy. Squat and look. Tap. Not quite fine enough for me. Tap. And we'll rise. Balance on the heels. Look for Elizabeth. And again. Looking over. We'll come into a little swing. Let go if you like.
standing exercise now, but you can absolutely do this seated. The moves are exactly the same whether you're standing or seated. We are taking a bit of a circle with one of the steps whilst we're standing, but seated, just do that part on the spot. So the rest is exactly the same. So I won't talk through the seated, however, when the music starts, as always, there will be two of me, so you can decide if you don't want to stand to watch that version and follow along. Anyway, we are thinking about Lydia and Mr. Wickham, and we're imagining they're at a dance together. So we've got some great marchy music that reminds us a little bit of soldiers for Mr. Wickham. But today we're going to learn Lydia's version, and in a week or so we will learn Mr. Wickham's version of this dance. And then maybe if you've got somebody at home, you can teach them one part and you can do the other, and have a good old dance together after we've finished our Pride and Prejudice sessions together. Anyway, let's begin. So we're in parallel position, and we begin, there's a slight introduction in the music, and I think there's a couple of counts where we're just standing still, and then we're going to toss our hair on that introduction. Toss, toss, lift up our skirts, take a curtsy and come together. Now if you'd like to not move that leg behind you, you can instead just bend through your knees and keep your feet in parallel position. Our arms stay here after our curtsy, and we're going to bring one arm to frame our face and lift up, and the other arm frame our face and lift up. So we've got these kind of soft arms, so not all the way up. We've got a sort of bend in our elbows, and our palms are facing in towards each other. And then we've got our cha-cha-cha step, all right? So you can either take this forwards or you can take it slightly to the side. It's completely up to you. So I will take it slightly to the side, but as I say, you can do it just straight forward. So we've got a step, back, back. And then our arms come down, step, back, back, keeping that sort of bend in your elbows. Coming up, step, back, back, again, step, back, back. Last time each side. And step, back, back. Now we've got 8 marches, and on our 8th march we've got a tap. So we did this in the warm-up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, tap. Now next week we'll hopefully take that on a pathway in the space, which is why we've got those taps in, because it helps us in that pathway, but it will make much more sense next week. So for this week we'll just keep those marches on the spot. And after we've done our marches, we're reaching one hand up to the side, and this is really nice and slow. So one hand reaches up to the side, palm facing towards us. Other hand imagining we're holding our skirt, and back foot extended here. Really, really reach, and then we've got 4 slow walks in a circle to bring us back to where we started. So we'll do that much today, but what we will do today is do it twice through with the music, so back to back. We'll just go straight from when we finish here, we'll go back to the beginning, but the music doesn't allow us to go straight back to our toss-toss curtsy. So once we finish here the first time, we're going straight into that framing of the face. Framing of the face and our 3 steps. 3 steps, okay? Let's just try it with some music. It's really lovely to dance, so do enjoy yourselves. And yeah, standing up nice and tall. Let's begin. And toss, toss, reaching your skirt. And curtsy, coming up, frame that face. Frame, up, stepping, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, keep going. Last time, we've got 8 marches. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, tap. 5, 6, 7, tap. Reaching to the side. Really, really Okay, so we're going to come back down to sit for the cool down today. So just finding your chair again if you've been standing, coming in front of it and pressing your bum right to the back of the chair to lower yourself down. Having a little bit of a wiggle once you're there, finding that space between the back of the chair and your spine here, and checking that your feet are in parallel, ready for the cool down.
So we're going to do a little cool down, and we'll think about the Bennett girls. The day after the first ball, they're a bit overwhelmed by having met and danced with all these men, and I think Jane's a little bit in love with Mr. Bingley, and Elizabeth is a little bit confused what to think of Mr. Darcy. So we're sitting in there, thinking about sitting in their sitting room, and we think about that embroidery. So we'll take one hand, it's just a follow me warm up, but we'll just in the beginning do a little bit of sort of free movement, thinking about the needle, and you can think about the colors and the patterns, and then we'll change the needle and thread to the other hand. So thinking about what you're gonna embroider with your hand and arm, and then we'll take it from there just into a free sort of thinking about that sort of longing, calm, I think quite happy and content here feel. Let's go with the music. So we'll have our needle ready. Thinking about the colors and patterns. We'll change. Reaching one arm up, over, lengthen. And we'll change. And thinking about the dance, we'll go forward, flex, swing back, and curl. We'll think about Darcy. Oh, the other hand, swing, and flex, push, reach back, and curl. And we'll step the feet forward and back. Again, step. And lift your heels, sweep the arms up, float down, again up. Finding that length through your spine. Lovely. That's all we have for today for our Pride and Prejudice. Thank you very much for dancing with us and singing and doing the vocal work with us today. Hope you had a lovely time and have a lovely rest of your day.